Come on, wake up.
Please don't shoot him with her.
Nobody's gonna shoot nobody. We're just here to take Bill to jail.
Jail? Now, hold on a minute. I ain't done nothing.
You sell a horse and a carriage to Sam here.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little commerce, is there?
But did you own that horse and carriage?
I would have had any kind of luck.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheap Seat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheap Seat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
This is episode 191, and tonight we're talking about Hickok. I am Sean Allred, and joining me tonight, this evening, this morning, whatever it is, what time is it? I don't know. Joining me is Andrew.
Yeah.
We're a God-fearing town. Jimison.
Howdy.
Evening, partner. All right. Sorry. And Sam. Sorry, I was doing something. And Sam, God, he kind of looks a lot like Thor, Vector.
I sat there for at least 30 minutes thinking, where have I seen this guy before I finally opened up IMDb and actually looked to see who he was.
Who he hails from.
Well,
the funny part is that, so he's...
But just so you know, I prefer the shotgun.
Oh, sure. Okay, shotgun to the face. That's fine.
Yeah.
No. So I knew this was a Hemsworth, right? This is 2017 Hickok. Luke Hemsworth. So he's the oldest of the three Hemsworth brothers.
I was going to say, he kind of looks like an older, fatter Thor.
He is. He's obviously shorter, right?
But he's still pretty built.
He took his shirt off. He's
take off his shirt.
He is a svelte
be okay
man
with having that kind of body.
No kidding. Yeah. I think we'd all probably be. Yeah, he's. I'm trying to figure out how old he is. I don't see
48.
It doesn't say. What? His uncle was Bushman Rod Ansel, who inspired the film Crocodile Dundee. That's actually kind of cool.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is cool. I don't know how old he is. It doesn't say. Anyway, he's old. He's the oldest one, and he and of course my joke is a reference to the fact that he is. Have either one of you seen Thor Ragnarok yet?
No.
Sam?
No, not yet.
Oh. Well, it's definitely the best comic book movie that's come out this fall.
That's what I've heard.
I know. I'm probably, if it's still in the theater next.
It should be.
Next Saturday, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, I think I'm going to go try to see it.
So when you go watch it, there's a couple things you want to. This isn't spoiler free. One, there's a really funny cameo at the beginning of the movie. Two, there's a scene where Odin, and I use quotation marks.
Are you going to spoil this for us?
No, I'm not spoiling anything. No. You know, if you've seen Thor 2, you know that Odin is not who he is. You've seen that, so that's not a spoiler. Odin is making them do a play of basically the last movie, right? He's like literally reviewing Thor 2, but in play form, right? And the actor who is playing Thor is Luke Hemsworth. It's just funny.
Nice.
Yeah. But the other thing I was going to tell you, Sam, is that listen to the score. And I don't know if I should tell you what it reminded me of. Because I kind of want to hear if you think of it. But I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
It 100% reminded me of Stranger Things.
Really?
Yeah. A lot.
Huh.
Yay. It was very...
Very synth.
Yeah, well, the whole movie has a very 80s vibe, kind of like Guardians 2. It has kind of an 80s vibe, and it's definitely a very funny movie. I mean, they make Thor kind of awkward. You know, like he's Thor, the god of thunder, you know, and he's
fish out of water, isn't he? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, he's super fish out of water in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny. So anyway, but that's not what we're doing tonight. Tonight we're doing Hickok. But before
we wish we were doing Thor.
I wish I was too. It's such a good movie. I really liked it. I'm trying to think because we've had 3 Marvel movies this summer, right? We had Guardians 2 in May, and then Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming in July, and then now Thor. And Spider-Man was my favorite, probably by a good margin, but that's also because it's my favorite character. And I liked that style of movie.
It was a good movie.
Which movies? Say that again. Which movies come out?
Spider-Man. So yeah, Guardians 2 was in May, right? Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Guardians 2 by far for me.
Oh yeah, that was good. I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it, but
I liked it.
I did not like it as much as I liked Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man a lot. Anyway, what was I going to say? I don't know. So before we get too much farther into the actual meat of the show, right? I'm going to throw out a little plug here, right? So Andrew and Sam and Corny and I have been talking about this, and we're kind of excited about.
Well, at least 75% of us are.
Yeah. Well, no, we're excited. About
or maybe 66%. Let's just say 66%.
66%. So that means one of you isn't excited about this. Is that we are quickly approaching our 200th episode, and we decided we wanted to do something fun. And I'll keep announcing this every week until we get there. I'll put it up on Facebook and Twitter, of course. And that's we're going to do kind of a contest, right? We just want to do something kind of fun and a little interactive, right? So, I mean, we're all kind of working dudes, and this is for fun, so I can't give away anything crazy.
Most of us are teachers or state employees.
Yeah, we're all state. Well, I'm not an employee of anybody, but
the
soon,
legislature has a
yeah, but soon. So, I have a few things that we're gonna do or offer. So, what we want you to do is we want you over the next few weeks. By few, I mean 10 or so. Start emailing the show, cheapseatreviews@gmail.com, your requests for us for whatever movie you want us to do for 200. Streaming would be great. Redbox would be fine. I think that's fair to say. We could probably Redbox something.
Sure.
So if it's something fairly new that's in Redbox and you want to do that, I'm good with that. And then we're going to take all those and we're going to just spin a big wheel or roll a dice or something, and we're just going to pick someone lucky, right? It's going to be a random draw. And whoever wins is going to win a $25 gift card to a movie theater of your choice, like an AMC or a Regal, whatever's near you, right? And we'll work that out, but you'll win a $25 gift card to that. Okay? So that's the thing. I think that's really cool and exciting.
Yeah.
And I also have a Lego movie poster here that I've had for like 3 years, and maybe I'll mail that out too. Just to get rid of it.
Like I said, 25-minute back scratch from Sean Ulrich.
Yeah. If you live near me, I'll give you a 25-minute back scratch too. So I don't know how I would mail that. I guess I could mail you a back scratcher I signed or something. I don't know. That's the best thing I can come up with.
Hey, Sean. I didn't shave my back this week, but I was wondering if you did.
This week. You do it every week. Ew. Okay. Oh, this character you just invented just terrifies me.
By the way, I got a wart on there about the size of a quarter.
Yeah, warts don't bother me. If it was like boils and cysts, that's when we have issues.
It's scabbed over.
Yeah, now we're getting gross. Anyway.
They do call me Holy Moly because
everyone that listening to the show is just now puked. So that's our big thing. So like I said, we'll announce it every week before we get there, so we can get a lot of emails. We want a whole lot of people to do this, to participate. One email per person, I guess. And I guess unless you're just really desperate and you want to create a bunch of fake emails. But
although at this point, if you want to send us more than one email,
well, if you just want to send us an email, that'd be great.
One will count.
We haven't had an email in a month.
Jump up and down. We will take a video of Sean literally hopping up and down for joy for getting more than one email to Cheap Seat Reviews.
Yeah, it'd be great to get something besides spam and GoDaddy emails and stuff like that. So anyway,
or bills.
Yeah.
Or Chick-fil-A reminders. I'm sure
those are good.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A's fine. Anyway, I found this real quick. I think I don't know what this is going to sound like because I'm. I don't care if I get kicked off Google or YouTube. Can you hear it a little bit there? Like,
is this from Thor?
That's Thor.
Yeah, it is Stranger Thing-ish.
Trying to find. I actually really like that. It's only $1.29. It's 8.5 minutes long. I might buy that. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah. So check that out when it hits Sam. So anyway, I guess none of us had seen this movie, right? We're doing 2017's Hickok, right? It just came out.
Yeah. And it's spelled weirdly.
Oh, that's the way his name is, right? Hickok, right? That's the way his name is spelled. So yeah,
weird.
It does look weird. It is. It's a weird name, but anyway. So I guess Andrew, you're leading our leading batter person, whatever. If you'll kind of give us your quick overview on this.
Do you want to know what the movie's about first?
Oh yes, please tell us. What is Hickok? 2017's Hickok.
Legendary lawman and gunslinger Wild Bill Hickok is tasked with taming the wildest kowtow in the West. While delivering his own brand of frontier justice, the infamous gunfighter's reputation as the fastest draw in the West is put to the test. Thus saith Dr. Seuss.
I like it. His own brand of or his own brand of what, justice, whatever. Like, weren't all those guys justice? Just shoot them. Like, isn't that everybody's just their justice? Right? Was just shoot them.
Yep.
So.
Their own brand of justice.
So Sam sends me a text earlier today and says, "Why are we doing this movie?" And I'll say, admittedly, we're doing this movie because I personally know the director.
Did you run into him?
No. Well, I guess maybe I did. To call him a friend would be overstepping the word friend.
What did he do to you?
Nothing. He didn't do anything to me. I mean, he was okay. He was kind of an asshole towards the end of our tenure together. So he was the lead actor / producer of the TV show Palmetto Point. And we when we did the pilot together, super cool dude. He worked with me in the studio when we did all of the post audio production. He helped me with some voiceovers, and Steve Everett, who is a friend of the show, who we've used his music for. He was in a previous band back then in the early aughts called The Road with a good friend of ours, Andrew, and I used music from their CD to put in for the pilot. I'm like, hey guys, can I use music? Because we couldn't afford any licensed music. And so they're like, yeah, that sounds great. We're going to be on a TV show, right? And so working with Tim was very cool. I enjoyed working with Tim. He's not a very good actor, but whatever. So then we get to do the actual show, Palmetto Point, and I learned that he's actually a very talented producer, where he can juggle. He was really good at juggling lots of different responsibilities. Unfortunately, one of those was still acting, and again, he was not good at it. But he was still pretty good at getting other talented people to come in to our show. So anyway, once Palmetto Point died, I mean, literally like bankrupt.
Yes.
They still owe me money, kind of a thing, right? It bankrupted the company I worked for. So I just kind of assumed Tim and any of his group, they would be out of Hollywood forever. Well, no, Tim went on to do a whole bunch more stuff. He was like, you know what? This is his dream. This is my dream, and I'm going to keep doing it. And damn it, by God, he's still doing it. And I got nothing bad about that. I mean, he does something called Whitaker Bay, TV series, and then he just does a whole bunch of just TV series, something called Hollywood East and Finders, Keepers, The Root of All Evil, a bunch of TV, little simple movies and stuff. And then he somehow gets into directing. And he's doing stuff like The Seven Phases of Jack the Ripper. I mean, no one's ever heard of any of this stuff, right? And he just finished filming.
Straight to Netflix type of stuff.
Yeah, mostly straight to Netflix, straight to Amazon, straight to Redbox kind of stuff, right? He just finished a movie called Gangsterland that stars Milo Gibson, as in Mel
Isn't
Gibson's
he like the
son.
ultra conservative guy that goes around and angry?
That's Mel Gibson.
No, not Mel Gibson. I know who that is.
No, not Milo Yiannopoulos. There's more than one person named Milo in the planet. And the third is the little dog, the little pug. No, it was a cat. The cat was Milo. Milo and Otis? No? Really? Neither one of you know what Milo and Otis?
I know it.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I hated it, but I know it.
That was kind of my first foray into animal movies. I have a weird fondness for that movie. Anyway, yeah, Jason Patrick is in this thing. And a bunch of other people I don't know. So anyway,
and he's the guy from Seinfeld, the guy who does the voice on Family Guy.
Who? Wait, what?
Yeah, the guy you just said.
Yeah.
No, not Seth MacFarlane.
Jason Patrick?
He does the guy in the wheelchair. Patrick.
It's Peter Warburton is the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
say
his name, but the voice actor.
Peter Warburton. Who did you think that I? Yeah, who did you think I said?
What? Patrick.
Jason Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick, the guy from he was Elaine's. He's Elaine's boyfriend on Seinfeld.
Okay.
He does the in-flight movie at Disney World at Epcot for Soarin'. He is Gronk, not Gronk.
No, that's not. That's Peter Warburton, dude.
Or is his name Patrick?
Or maybe is it Patrick Warburton? Patrick Warburton. Patrick. It is Patrick Warburton. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you got the last name right. Jason Patrick is definitely not Patrick Warburton. Like,
okay,
not even close. He was in Speed 2.
Totally nailed it.
He was in the Alamo as Jim Bowie.
Guy.
No, he wasn't a bearded guy. He was actually the only guy in the movie that didn't have a beard. He was Jim Bowie, the inventor of the Bowie knife. He's in some other crap. Anyway, my point is that
is it a Bowie or Bowie knife?
They pronounce it Bowie in the movie, I think. I don't know.
I always called it a Bowie knife.
I think I did too. I think it is a Bowie knife, but they call him Jim Bowie, or maybe they do call him Jim Bowie. I don't remember.
I'd say Jumanji.
You say Jumanji, Jumanji, or Jumanji?
Jumanji.
Jumanji. Have you seen the trailers for the new one?
It's less racist. Yeah,
Jumanji is the one where they go into
less
the game
racist.
And they're all rabbis.
I just got it.
I totally watched that.
Their avatars are all rabbis.
Oh my god! Ladies and gentlemen, legit. I'm fighting a migraine tonight, so literally my processor is super slow. So that's the second or third time one of these guys has thrown a joke out, and it's taken me a full 5 seconds to register the joke. So if this happens again, just
don't you know that don't go into the water with a yarmulke? Everybody knows that.
Everybody should go into water
girl,
like that.
Where's your husband, girl?
So anyway, he did something called Gangsterland, and good for him. So that's Tim. And so I saw that he had something on Netflix, and I'm actually proud of the guy, So I I actually sent him a message on Facebook today saying, "Hey, I'm doing one of your movies on my show. I think that's really cool that you're
Oh dear,
you're still doing
no,
it."
I feel bad.
I didn't. No, don't feel bad. He's not going to listen to our podcast. I didn't actually send the link of what podcast it is. I just said, "Hey, I'm doing one of your movies." But that would be kind of cool to get him on the show, though.
Well, there'd be some questions I would need to ask about this movie in particular.
Well, see that you don't want to be mean, because it's a shit film. But you gotta have to wonder, some
of the choices.
But he's got to know that, right? He's obviously trying.
Yeah.
As a director, he's trying to make the best film possible, and obviously he's got a low budget. And I've argued,
and we understand that because we've seen low budget.
Yeah, and there's nothing in this movie that requires
and we've seen low budget good.
And there's nothing in this movie other than the stick of dynamite. There's nothing in this movie that requires a budget. I'm saying costumes and the little town that they're in. I mean, that's probably somewhere in L.A. that they just have an old West town always built. The guns probably that costs some budget because you have to rent them, and then obviously the ammunition. But yeah, there's no special effects involved. It's all script and action and camera work, and. I mean, yeah, you have some stuff like he shoots a guy and it's off camera and you don't really know what happened and they just kind of describe it. But I'm okay with that kind of stuff because maybe they didn't have the budget to do the shot. So I'm good with that. So most of my issues with this movie, and we haven't even gotten really into anyone's intros yet, but really for me, it's script and a little bit of editing. A lot of editing. It's script editing, and some pacing issues, right? We also had, I think, several hopping men in this movie.
Well, one kid did get shot, so
we did have literally a hopping person. Yeah. If you don't know what that reference is, go back and listen to our Dark Man episode. But Andrew, I'll let you.
By the way, the wound on his leg, I like to go from leg to leg.
Oh, did it change? Did it really?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, I didn't notice that. This is hysterical. Oh, man.
I thought it was just me at first, and then I actually...
It's like, whoa, okay, yeah.
You think the kid did that on purpose?
It again.
Wardrobe comes over to rap is no, it's my left leg this time, I promise.
Only he put all the makeup on the right leg.
It was my arm. It was not even my leg. It's my arm. This has gotten 1,000 votes and it's at a 4.9 on IMDb. Good for him. So Andrew, I'll let you go first, sir.
Okay. Well, as you said, this is my first time watching Hickok and my last time watching Hickok. I wanted to like it because I like Westerns. It's a genre that we don't see very often anymore. I think that it's, of all the movie genres that are out there, Westerns are kind of rare these days.
Mm-hmm. Good Westerns.
Right. And so when I saw this, I was kind of excited about it. And I saw Luke Hemsworth, and I thought, well, okay, he's a decent actor, I guess. And then I saw Chris Christopherson, and I thought, well, yeah, all right, he's getting up there, but okay.
Yeah.
And then I saw Trace Adkins, and I thought, well, he's been in a few things, and he's, in front of the people quite a bit with his singing career, so maybe he's got some acting chops. And I was just let down terribly by all of them. Yeah. The acting in this was subpar. I mean, there were some moments. There was a confrontation between the mayor and Poe, where they're kind of, and the mayor's character, or Chris Christopherson's character, says, "Get off my property before I shoot you," or something like that. And Poe, I mean, just the facial expressions and the body language, it was all awkward, and it was bad.
It was so bad.
And it wasn't just that scene. There was tons of the same thing. The I don't know who played Cameron Richardson. I've seen her in something before. I don't know what. I guess it was Alvin and the Chipmunks.
That's the only thing I've seen her in. Yeah,
my kids watched that. That's probably where I saw her.
Yeah, the only.
And she was okay in that.
Well,
maybe it's because it was Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I mean, the bar on that movie is not real high. You got Jason Lee and David Cross in that movie. I mean, both those guys are great comedy guys, and it's a comedy because there's obviously talking cartoon chipmunks, but. I mean, because she's like the only woman in the whole movie in that movie. Kind of like this movie. Like, either you're her or a whore. Like, there's no one else.
Right.
So, anyway.
I mean, parts of the story I was okay with, and I thought that had they told the story a little better, it would have been a decent story. I guess. Maybe you guys, as you talk about it, you can help me see a little light on it, but I'm not sold.
I think I don't. Okay,
Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah. Well, I first of all, I got to say that I think Sean has ruined bad movies forever. Mainly because this movie, the sound levels in this movie drove me crazy because there is a break between every single sentence in a conversation, and the break causes the sound to go wonky.
Uh-huh.
And
didn't we talk about that at one point with another movie about sound floor? And
that was Birdemic, wasn't it?
Birdemic
was just horrendous with the sound.
Oh yeah, okay, hang in there.
This was better than Birdemic, obviously.
No, okay.
Anything is.
Hang in there, Sam. I want to make sure I clarify something very clearly. Like,
yes,
this movie and every movie we've seen other than Birdemic has what I would consider acceptable audio, right?
Yeah.
Like, this had some weird moments, yes. But literally, these are professionals, professional sound team, professional studio. They messed up a line. We go into ADR. They would have had a budget to do that kind of a thing, right? Mm-hmm. What Birdemic did is unforgivable in the world of sound editing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, we do a better job every week with this podcast with audio editing than that entire movie did.
Yeah.
And they were paid to do that, and we're not. So
that's true.
I just want to be very clear that's not an apples to apples comparison.
No.
That is an apple that has been
that's
eaten
like an
and
apple
shat.
that has rotted and been run over by a car and then pooped on by my dog.
Versus and then eaten by something else
at the grocery store.
Yeah, and then eaten by something else and then shat. So
yeah.
If you want to compare this to other low budget films that we've seen, that's fair, right? But not Birdemic. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay.
That's where I think I learned about this problem,
right?
Just because it is so there's an epidemic in that movie.
Same level. I'm sorry.
What's that?
I'm just saying this is like at the same level of audio quality as movies like The Colony or Kung Fury or I'm going back. Monsters, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the level we're at.
Say it's not totally distracting because there's a flow to it and it doesn't go completely out, but there is a break between every every conversational sentence.
Did you watch it on your iPad, like with your headphones, or what?
Yeah, I watched it with my headphones.
Okay.
On the computer, but it had some moments in terms of you could tell that they tried hard with the Western theme, trying to make them sound like, I don't know, what cowboys might sound like after a pack of cigarettes every other hour.
A lot of gravelly voices, yeah.
The accents were a little off, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's Kansas. What accent is Kansas?
But this story was stupid.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're not
and
wrong.
we've seen it before. There was nothing in this movie that surprised me or gave me something new. I felt really bad for the girl that had to show her boobies because she had to show them in this movie.
Yeah.
It's just like a wasted show.
Well, yeah.
So it's I don't know. It was just kind of dumb, and I didn't care. And if Hickok would have been shot in the head, I didn't care. There was a guy who was shot in the head with two guns, right?
Yeah.
2 bullets, and somehow he was still alive.
He made a moan, and then I think he would eventually die. But yeah, he made a moan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
can we pause right there? Just when this guy gets up off the ground, there's a chunk of something laying on the ground. Is this his? Is it skull? Is it brain? What is on the ground?
Probably both.
It looks like half a grapefruit. It's just a cantaloupe.
Probably is back of his head.
There.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing. Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. Like I said, bad editing, bad writing. And I put it a lot on, I know the director the director, but why did you have to have stationary shots for every single shot? Is that a budget thing, Ope?
Could be.
Because it makes me feel like I'm watching a soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
It was not well.
What do you mean by stationary shots? You mean like establishing shots, or just like the camera was on sticks?
It's a single non-motion shot.
Yeah. Well,
over and over. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, to answer your question, that's probably a budget thing, because there was an aerial shot, if you remember, and it was on the train ride, and that was probably done because he got a little bit of money, he had some money, he had the train, he rented the train for the day, right? And it's beautiful scenery because there's nothing in the background that would remind you that it's 2017. Whereas, you probably can't do aerial shots of the city because then you'd see the studio lot, So, and then, maybe he does some, steady cam work or anything. He didn't do anything. Most of it was on sticks or on a dolly. And that's partly budget. It also might be partly inexperience. I don't know who his cinematographer was. It might have been an inexperienced.
And that was my next big complaint, is that there were no imaginative shots. You can, there's some beauty in these Old West areas that could have been taken advantage of. Even if they just used a filter, some sort of haze or something to give it a grungier look, it would have been a little more palatable, I think.
Yeah, the cinematographer,
but it's
Pablo Diaz. He's done almost all of his movies, right? And it's what he does is a bunch of these kind of garbage movies. Even the picture of him is the camera's on sticks, which is kind of funny. But I mean, maybe it's that. Maybe the two of them, they're going for speed. We got to crank these things out as quickly as we can because we don't have the budget to. I mean, when we would do like so you
don't have to pay craft services for.
Well, not even just craft services.
I'm
talking about like, extra. Yeah. If you don't have to have catering an extra day, that's $2,000 you just saved. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I mean, we would do if we were in a room. Shooting in a small scene where it was just either on the shoulder or on sticks, right? We could knock out a whole scene in a couple hours. But then it's like, the next shot is we're going to be doing the outside battle, and we're going to have we're going to bring in the jib, which is where the camera goes up and down on like a big long arm. You use it a lot at like award shows and things where they fly over the crowd. I mean, that's a 3-hour setup. So anyway, I would just probably go to partly budget. I will notice when you said there wasn't any creative shots, he tried to get creative, I think, with some stuff because I noticed it. Like he had a couple of scenes where the camera's laying on the ground, and people are walking. They did that kind of thing a little bit, but I didn't really notice that, honestly. Now, my brain's a little muddled, partly because of my brain and partly because I watched 3 episodes of The Punisher right after this. And so I think my opinion has been askew a little bit because I'm misremembering scenes. Because I started to say, I remember this such and such thing happened. Actually, no, that was from The Punisher. Never mind. Because there's a really interesting scene in The Punisher. You don't see cinematographers do this very often. We're going to get a little boring here in the technical realm, but when you do screens, there's what's called the rule of thirds, right? So when you have 2 guys talking to each other, on one camera, right? There, one guy's on the screen, and then you flip over to the next guy, right? He's in the like if the guy is on the left side of the room, then you put him in the left third of the screen, so you can see his face and you can see which direction he's looking. And then people like Shyamalan come along and put him in the right third, so you see behind him and you don't see all of his face, and it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable and weird and stuff. And they're doing a lot of that in The Punisher, where like the person is in the middle of the camera of the frame and not on the off to the side or whatever. They're doing a lot of that kind of stuff, but the whole show is kind of supposed to make you uncomfortable. So I get it. Anyway, sorry, but this movie doesn't do that. It just makes you uncomfortable for the wrong reasons. Were you done, Sam? Sorry.
No, I think I've pretty much said my spiel. I just I'm not a fan of these types of movies. These really I don't understand. I just don't understand them. And I guess there's a market for them.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, yeah, there's a market for them, and obviously A-listers. I mean, Bruce Dern, he still has some cachet, and Chris Christopherson has cachet basically off of history. I mean, he's not doing a lot of new stuff, but there's a reason why these guys do these movies. Probably because they're in L.A., so it was just a drive over to the set, right? I mean, both of those. Bruce Dern probably filmed his whole movie in one day, right? He only had 2 scenes, so they probably filmed him and he was off set. Chris Christopherson had 3 different locations out in by the fire, and then twice in the mayor's office and one out front on the porch, right? So you probably could have filmed him in that night and the next day. So that's probably and they got a little paycheck. They probably got a couple of grand and then
bus tickets.
Yeah, and then if this movie makes something, you'll get a 1/10 of a percent. I don't know what the cut is on something like that. It's SAG minimum, right? So they got a couple pennies because we watched it on Netflix. But these guys do it because they like doing low budget stuff sometimes because it helps them quote unquote hone their craft, and it's there's less pressure, so they can kind of be more creative and more whatever. And instead, I mean, Chris Christopherson has always been as flexible as concrete. I mean, even in movies like Blade, he's just a hard ass. I mean, that's just what he is, right? And we saw him in Payback. Sorry. That's a long inside joke. Payback.
150 episodes later, we still get those confused.
Right. We saw him in Payback, and he's the same thing. He's just rah, 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 right? So to your point, one of your points, I can't remember who said it, about the acting. The acting didn't bother me. I thought Luke was okay. And now my wife says, so is he a good Hemsworth? And I said, well, there's a reason why his brother is in these $200 million movies and why he's in this. And she's like, oh, okay. And I said, but he looks like a Hemsworth. I mean, he takes his shirt off at one scene. I'm like, shit. I mean, he could kick all of our asses, right? He was in really good shape. And he didn't do that for this movie, right? It's not like Chris Hemsworth, who has to get in shape for Thor, where he has a paid person that comes in and watches his diet and gives him exercise, right?
Yeah, pretty much shadows him.
Right. Same thing with Chris Evans for Captain America, and The Rock. Like these guys have these exercise regimens to get them into the shape that they need for the role. This is just him being him. This is just his God-given ability and his desire to stay fit in case a role comes along that needs him to be in shape.
That's kind of how I live my life.
Sure.
Yep.
I thought the girl was okay. I thought the makeup on her black eye was awful.
Oh, that was horrible.
Like,
I mean, basically her skull must have caved in.
Like,
I mean, seriously.
The way, like, when they did the first scene when he comes in and checks on her, I mean, it's just red and she's fine, right? But then when she's on the train, I mean, it looked like her whole eye socket was just like phantom purple.
Yeah.
It was awful.
We have a pretty decent theater department at our high school, and they do makeup injuries as part of their, like, I don't know, one of their projects in their beginning classes. And those kids can do a better job doing a black eye than what I saw on there.
I worked at Carowinds, which has the Scarowinds, every year, which is the haunt, right? And several of my friends would practice on themselves to get ready for Halloween, to create these wounds or whatever. And one girl, her name's Kira, she's not a listener to the show, but she would create these works of art on her arm that literally one day, because she was still in high school, they called the police because they thought that her father was abusing her because she had created such very creative bruises and scratches. I mean, it was all done with paint, but it looked like someone had taken a very dull object and had carved into her arm and then stapled it back together. And it was just done with makeup, and it was brilliant and terrifying to look at. And she's like, no, it's makeup. She's like, she had to wash it off, make sure that people but the principal or the teacher literally we need to call the police or something going on at home, right? Anyway, my point is, it can be done, and I can't imagine
fairly cheap.
Yeah, because the way it works is that you hire the makeup artist, right? All right, I'm going to hire you at $300 a day, plus you get what's called your kit fee. You have to supply your kit full of your makeup, and so that's just part of your job expenses, and you charge a rental fee. That's going to be, $100 a day, maybe not even that much, maybe $50 a day for my kit because I have to buy brushes and makeup and stuff, right? All the expendables for the makeup kit. So it was bad. I mean, I'm actually going to look. I wouldn't know who it is, but it was bad. It was bad. I mean, the best part of the movie was the firearms. Though I did have to do some research. The Confederates didn't have Gatling guns. They didn't. That never would have existed, where the Confederates had a Gatling gun on a cart and they were shooting down.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
Union guys.
Nor would the heavy artillery be that close.
It was so close. That would never happen.
There was so many problems. Yeah,
30 feet away. That wouldn't happen. And then you would never charge straight at a Gatling gun on a horse.
No way.
Doing the Kevin Costner thing from Dances with Wolves. You wouldn't do that. But it made for kind of an interesting action scene, I guess. But, that's the stuff that I look at. Sorry, I'm looking at the makeup department. There's a person named Sapphire. It's just one word, Sapphire, like Madonna. All right, well, whatever. Anyway, good for you, Sapphire. I'm gonna go to my notes now. What was I gonna say? I did write. Oh, okay. So here's another part that was dumb to me, right? So Bill is in he's in the bathtub, right, with the prostitute in the bed. With
his boots on.
With her boots on, yeah. So yeah, he's in the boots. So he distracts the guys, right? That was the plan. I'm pretty sure that was the plan. That she goes up and kisses, Beardy McBeard, and they both look at her, and then he draws his gun. So now they both have guns drawn on each other. Why does he now have the leverage?
Yeah, I wondered that too.
Okay, it's a Mexican standoff. The difference is that I'm outside of the tub and can move. You can't. You're stuck in a tub. So I'm pretty sure I still have leverage over you. I don't get that. Why would you give him your gun and then go in the closet? That was dumb. It was dumb. And then
because it doesn't advance the plot of the movie.
I know.
Come on, that's the reason.
I know. So the opening scene that I played for the intro, I actually didn't mean to make that one the intro. I meant for it to be something else, but it doesn't matter. So there's a part where it's
6-1, half another.
So we're gonna get to the whole Sean's game of what did they say? All right, so here we go.
Come on, wake up.
Please don't shoot him, Luther.
What?
Please don't shoot him, Luther.
Luther, is that his name?
Please don't shoot him, Luther.
Please don't shoot him, Luther.
Please don't shoot him, Luther.
Nobody's gonna shoot nobody.
Oh my gosh. Can we get one more take where she actually says his name without running out of air?
Please don't shoot him, Luther.
It's like please don't shoot. I'm too tired to finish the word Luther.
She smoked a few. too many.
Gosh. Okay. Thanks for that, Sam.
Please don't shoot him, Luther.
I never could figure that out.
And I'm not 100% sure it's Luther, but that's the only thing I can get out of it.
Well, okay. I mean, I guess the question is
Oh,
there...
that's right. Yeah, I had my closed caption on, as I normally do when we watch movies for this, just because I don't want to end up in that situation. And that's what she said.
She does say Luther?
Yeah.
I'm actually going back and looking through the credits here, looking for someone named Luther. I don't see one. It's all right. Whatever. It's fine. There's Sam. I found this Sam. His real name is Peter Zifo. Xifo. It's actually kind of a cool name. I can't find him, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Handsome Cowboy. There's a guy named Handsome Cowboy. All right. I believe you. All right. So anyway, so there's that. So she's not good acting. I wrote talk about the girl. Why are Undertakers always weird and creepy in the West? In West movies? It's the thing. I don't know why they always have to be like that. I wrote Bruce Dern as the Doc is crazy, and I love it. I think he's great.
But he was like the only character that was at least interesting.
No, you're not wrong. Even Trace Adkins as the tropey bartender, bar owner. I want to drive you out of my town. I mean, it's the freaking plot to Walking Tall, you know? It's
Yeah.
which we're going to get to the end. The end of the movie really bothered me, and we'll get there in a second. Must be tough life to always have to sleep with a gun. Oh, I wrote, so in order to be a marshal, you just need to be a good shot. That seemed to be his only qualifications. All right, this dude's a criminal. Both of them are criminals. You're good with a gun. Be marshal. All right. Sounds good. It just seemed weird. Now, I get Wild Bill kind of accepting that role because he was a soldier. So he has a moral compass. But the other guy was just ish. But the other guy, but he never killed anyone. At least not on TV, on the film. He didn't kill anyone that didn't need killing, right? So at least he has, again, that little bit of moral code, compass. I said, whoa, boobies, and what did he do to deserve her? Like, she hates him, she hates him, she hates him, sex, hates him, that's your dad. Credits. You know.
Isn't that how most relationships go, though?
I guess. I don't know.
Right?
Of course, Whiskey Guy will let it slip. Did he just one-shot two guys? That was kind of weird. He pulls a gun, shoots
three
once.
guys. Was it three?
I only saw two fall, but maybe it was three. I don't know. All right, so Hopping Man. One, and it's not even a hopping man, it's a hopping plot point. They make a big damn deal about him being moon blind, and then it never materialized. Because even in the fight,
yeah, it did.
At the fight at the end,
there was the one scene,
the dark room that Trace Atkins.
Yeah, but it did. But it wasn't like he pulled him in there and he was like, "Oh, now you can't see me," you know. And then like he took advantage of it. They just wrestled on the floor and he pulled his gun on him and shot him in the belly a couple times. So like there was no payoff to that whole him being freaked out about him being moon blind, right? I think the Doc is a hopping man. Like
Moonblind kind of sounds like a not so great Bond.
Moonblind. Do you expect me to talk? No, I expect you to go moonblind. Yeah, I'm with you. Moonblind.
But that all stems from him being outside. Did you get him? Yeah.
You don't even see him, do you? No, I see him. He's over there. I love like old timey ways of talking about medical stuff because they would just make up shit. What's wrong with you? What ails you? Consumption? Typhoid pneumonia? Oh, so you have tuberculosis. Got it. You know, I like that stuff. He's moon blind. What does that mean? It means he can't see at night. Oh, okay. So he's got cataract. Got it. You know, it's just, I like that old time stuff. That's just great. I wish we had more of that stuff. What ails you, Sean? Well, I got the the Scarlet Foot. What's that? Athlete's foot. I don't know. So, okay. So
anybody could be a doctor back then. I tell you.
Yeah. What was the other hopping man that drives me crazy? It was I thought the Doc was kind of one. The Undertaker, Preacher Undertaker. Never saw him again either.
That's true. Yeah.
Like I kind of felt like he was supposed to have more of a role.
He was sick that day.
Maybe it was. Yeah. Where's Preacher Undertaker Man? I don't know. Okay.
Got this thing in 3 days.
Yeah.
So.
So here's the thing that really truly bothered me about the plot. Right. So. Have we all seen the movie Wyatt Earp or Tombstone? Either one of those.
Oh, yeah.
They're both I think are great films. I know a lot of people have more of a leaning towards Tombstone because of Val Kilmer.
Yes.
I personally like Wyatt Earp because I think Kevin Costner is great in the Wyatt Earp role. I also think it's a better movie. And I also have been to Tombstone, Arizona, in the little town there, and I actually asked locals. When I was there, it was years ago, I was like, which movie do you got? Because they got both movies on every shelf, right? And I said, which movie do you guys like better? And they said, if you could have put the supporting cast of...
Yeah.
Well, no, the other way around. Put the supporting cast of Tombstone in the Kevin Costner movie, right? So, like, have Kevin Costner as the lead, same movie, but switch everyone out for whoever all the supporting cast is in Tombstone. With like Val Kilmer and Sam Elliott and all those people, right? So anyway, what was my point? My point is that at the end of the movie, right, when Kevin Costner, Tombstone, whatever, when Wyatt Earp goes on his killing spree, basically, right, he's going to kill every last one of them cowboys. You tell him that war is coming, and you tell him that Wyatt Earp's coming, and I'm bringing hell with me. It's a great line. I butchered it, but. You understand the why, right? You get the why because one, they shot one of his buddies. They shot it wasn't Bat. It was the other guy. Who did they shoot? It was Bill Pullman. Shoot, IMDb.
God rest his soul.
No, Bill Paxton died, not Bill Pullman.
Oh,
Bill Pullman was the president in Independence Day.
Okay.
Wyatt Earp. I can't remember. He kills the Bill Pullman character, right? And so it pissed him off, right? And then they a little whiles later they killed his brother. They shot his brother in the back. Morgan. They shoot and kill Morgan. They also shoot. I can't remember who else they shot. They shot the older brother too. Ed Masterson. Bill Pullman was Ed Masterson, Bat's brother. Virgil, they shoot Virgil, right? And he gets shot in the arm, and he says that famous line, at least I still have one good arm to hold you with. He actually said that. I forgot that Mark Harmon was in that movie, though. Anyway, my point is that sorry, I can't multitask. I'm sorry. I'll be right there.
4 things at once.
I know, right? My point is that he's kind of justified in his killing spree, right? These cowboys, right? The red bandanas, right? They killed his brother and the other guy, and they did a whole lot of bad things in town, and he's here to take them out, right? I'm done dealing with these guys. I'm done arresting them and then them getting out on bail. We're just going to go kill them, right? Fine. Kind of Punisher style, but whatever, right? In this movie, though, right, the bar owner man, Tracy Adkins, is like, he's bad for business. Time to kill the sheriff. Okay, a little extreme. You're already paying him. Like, could you come up with a better plan than to kill him? So then this new gunslinger comes into town. He offers him $500 to kill him. Hickok is like, hey, why don't you just be my deputy? Yeah, okay, it's. I guess in 6 months I would have made as much money as they would have paid me to kill you. It seems probably safer for me because you'll probably kill me if I don't. So there's that. So you get that, right? So now he's got a deputy, right? So then you get, I forgot how much this is like Walking Tall, because that's what The Rock does with freaking the guy from Jackass. Anyway, He's his buddy who has a criminal record, but they make him a deputy. Anyway, so then then Trace he sends more guys after him. They all die, right? The two guys kill him in the shootout. And then he finds out through weird coincidence that his fiance knows him in the biblical sense, right? So he goes home and he punches her in the neck or in the face, right? And gives her the worst black eye you've ever seen. And then he shows up and he sees her, right? And that's it. All he's done is punch her, right? So, literally the only crime he's committed is being a douche, right? I mean, yeah, he paid those guys to kill him, but he doesn't really know that. And then he just goes in his place and starts shooting people, and the mayor's cool with it. Wait a minute, the mayor shouldn't be cool with this. That just seems so weird how he got there. Christopherson's Christopherson all but gave him a gun to help him. I understand what you're doing, son. Here, take Betsy. She's my best hunting rifle. I'm surprised that didn't happen. So anyway, that bothered me. And then he gets done, right? He shoots Trace in the belly, kills Trace, fine. And then he gets on the horse and says, "I'm done running." Gives him his badge back, gets on a horse and leaves.
Isn't that what we call running?
I was confused. Running, done running from what? Is he running towards his wife and he doesn't know, or his girl and doesn't know yet that it's his son? Is he running to them? Is he? I don't. Where's he going? Is he going to go pee? You need to tell us, movie, Tim. So anyway, it's fine. I'm done. You guys have anything you want to add?
No.
No. Okay.
I did not appreciate this one.
The only trope I wrote was jailer is drunk who also lives at the jail, because that's like Andy Griffin's show, right? The guy's always living there, basically works there. So anyway, I do have clippy clips. Only 4. I didn't capture a lot because just frankly wasn't a whole lot of dialogue. But they're kind of long, so here you go.
Gentlemen, within a week, Abilene be an island in a sea of Texas cattle.
Okay, hang in there. Before I finish this, I feel bad that they made Chris Christopherson say this line. I'm just going to say it. It's a stupid line, what he's about to finish. So I'm going to back it up a few seconds and just feel bad for this man who had a storied career, and they made him say shit like this.
Within a week, Abilene be an island in a sea of Texas cattle and Texas humans.
With all due respect, Mayor, this is a good Christian town, a God-fearing town.
Well, for God's sakes, get off your high horse, Jenkins. You and I both know that Abilene could teach Sodom and Gomorrah a few lessons.
Texas humans? Really? You made him say that. That's so bad. He could have just said, I know he's differentiating between Texas cows and Texas humans. You could have just said Texans.
Yeah.
Or even cowboys. That word was used, and it was a derogatory term. A cowboy. Cowboys was not a good thing. So, anyway, dumb. It's a bad line. Here we go. This part, legit. My favorite part of the whole movie. Because I think this is, seriously, this is the best acting in the whole movie, in my opinion. Right here. 38 seconds of pretty good acting on Luke Hemsworth.
I'm out of bullets, okay? So I draw my knife and I back up against the far wall. And that time, you're crowding around me.
What happened next?
The kid's bad. The kid's terrible.
Well, what could I do? I was outgunned, outnumbered, out of ammo. I only had my knife. So what'd you do? I pissed my pants, Doc.
So, I actually think that part was fine. I thought that was probably the best scene in the whole movie, honestly.
It humanized him a bit.
Yeah, it did. It humanizes him. It shows him that he cares. It is a little weird, though, that there's probably still shooting happening outside, but he's inside with this kid. Which, by the way, I was trolling on IMDb on the review page, and 2 different people noticed that the kid's leg bandage like changed feet. So you guys aren't the only ones that noticed that. It pissed his pants. That's kind of funny. Here's a phrase that I have no idea what this means. I need your guys' help again. So here we go. One more time of he said what?
It's time to fish or cut bait. Something's got to be done about little Arkansas. The son of a bitch is wearing his guns in plain view.
When you harness a mule, you just teach your horse to run.
What? What?
You got a horse or a mule?
Okay, all
Harness a mule. Or teach the horse to run. Is that what he says?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
When you harness a mule, you just teach your horse to run.
Still makes no
It
sense.
doesn't make. If you are you saying it's harness a mule? If you harness a mule? Okay, so let's go back. It's just so dumb.
When you harness a mule, you just teach your horse to run.
It doesn't make any sense.
Is that a saying?
I've never heard of that before. Like, it's so dumb. I've now listened to that clip 7 times and I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm not even sure. I'm going to Google the phrase. I'm just going to Google if you harness. That's what we think he's saying, right? If you harness a mule.
Yep.
I'm just going to type that in and see what happens. How to harness a mule? No. It's all how to do it. It's all wikis on how to. Okay, so
now we know how to harness a mule.
Yeah, if you harness a mule, what does he say? Will you teach a horse to run?
Teach a horse to run.
Teach a horse to
Sure.
It's so dumb. Nope, that's not a thing. So
okay, all right.
When you harness a mule, you just teach your horse to run.
Still don't. I'm still not, like, when I first heard it, I thought he said, if you horse a mule, is what I thought he said the first time. That's why I was super confused.
Maybe he was having a stroke. I mean,
I hope not.
They are older people.
I mean, when you have things like that happen, right? That means that he said what was on paper to say, because no one went back and said, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense, right? Like, that's what the script supervisor heard him say that through the microphone and was like, yep, that's right. Good job, Luke. Moving on.
I wrote that myself.
Cut, print, check the gate, moving on. Like,
we see it all the time over here.
All right, guys, we need something that a cowboy would say.
Right? Like,
what would a cowboy say? Something about mules and a harness and a horse.
Yeah, like, it's so bad. Oh, really? Okay, hang in there. Oh, nope, not there. Oh, wait. I'm looking for it. No, I can't find it. No, wait. I'm going to do the thing that you do, Andrew. I'm going to put the thing on the thing. Put the, what's it called?
Captions.
Yeah, closed captions. I can't use words.
There you go.
All right, okay. So where is it? Audio subtitles. That's what I'm looking for. No? Yeah, on. All right, so he's walking by. I know this is great radio right now, but he's looking at him with his little Luke Hemsworth look. The guy winks at him.
It's time to fish or cut bait.
All right, got you there.
Something's got to be done about little Arkansas.
Yeah, with you.
Little Arkansas.
The son of a bitch is wearing his guns in plain view.
Yeah, with you.
When you harness a mule,
Yeah, it's harness a mule.
you just teach your horse to run.
When you harness a mule, but you teach a horse to run. So we're missing the word "but." So you harness a mule, but you teach a horse to run. I'm really hung up on this line. Clearly,
Maybe they're talking about the differences between mules and horses.
I mean, I guess that's the thing when you harness a mule, but now that I know the whole line, I don't know. It drives me crazy. Again, that's not a phrase. I'm looking for that. It's not a phrase. I can't find it. It's not a thing. It's so dumb. Some writer.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, I know. Some clever writer's like, this is. People said shit like this. I promise. All right, here we go.
And like Texas humans, we all said that back then.
27 seconds of, I think actually not terrible.
I know why you're going back. You're going back because you're a hero.
No, son. I'm going back because I'm a coward. Sometimes it takes more courage to walk away. You be a man. Take care of your mother for me, okay?
Tickets, please.
He scared me. Yeah, I mean, the kid's terrible, but he wasn't all that bad. Anyway, moving on.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
There was no trivia on this movie. None. Which isn't surprising.
Other than that, this is about as factually inaccurate as you could get on Wild Bill.
So I actually went and did some some Wikipedia-ing and found something that was actually pretty interesting. The Bull's Head Tavern in Abilene, which is a thing, because that's what it was there, has been established as a partnership between ex-lawman Ben Thompson and gambler Phil Coe, who was the Trace Adkins character. The two entrepreneurs had painted a picture of a bull with a large erect penis on the side of their establishment as an advertisement. Citizens complained to the town marshal, Wild Bill Hickok. When Thompson and Coe refused his request to remove the bull, Hickok altered it himself. So that's not about the movie, it's about actual history. So I thought that was kind of cool.
And see, that would have been funny.
Yeah,
and that would have been a reason to start the downward relationship between.
Yeah.
What's his?
Yeah, their relationship like broke up like really quick, like real fast. Anyway, here we go. This.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Soundtrack grade, I'm going to give it a because it was terrible. It was just a bunch of synth garbage. And
by the way, speaking of good westerns,
have
either of you started watching any of the Westworld stuff?
No, I don't have HBO, so I can't.
Oh, dude, talk to me afterwards. I can get you hooked up, but it's interesting. I really like it.
Yeah, I know, and I want to see it. In fact, he's in it, right? Isn't Luke is in it.
Yep.
No, I do like me a good Western, though. I heard that Godless is really good, too. On Netflix.
Yeah, that's probably my next big binge on Netflix. Just like the new True Grit was just amazing.
Oh, yeah, that was a good movie. I like that movie. Rooster Cogburn. It's great. Top 3, we decided to do movies based on historical people, right? Mm-hmm. Whether the movie or not is historically good is irrelevant. The fact that the movie is based on a true person is what the point of the top 3 is, right? This movie did not do justice by Wild Bill Hickok, I don't think, but he was a real person, and they portrayed him as best they could in this movie. So, Andrew.
Okay. I have a few honorable mentions. One with Saving Mr. Banks.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And also another one with Tom Hanks, Bridge of Spies.
I do like Bridge of Spies.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, it's a good movie. It's very cerebral. It's
Isn't that the thing that the X-Men go into?
Yes. Yep. Tom Hanks puts on a big metal hat and talks to Patrick Stewart or James McAvoy. I can't remember which. The timelines are confusing.
So confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are honorable mentions. So number 3, coming in at number 3 here, we have Freedom Riders, which is, I guess, not really based off a historical figure necessarily, but it's based off of a real person.
Okay.
Maybe I missed the Can we count that?
I'm good with this.
Yeah, sure.
Because I could change that very easily to something else.
I'll allow it.
Number
You're not the
2, Amadeus.
Oh, sure,
Amadeus.
And number 1, The King's Speech.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a fantastic.
I agree with that one.
Sam.
All right. I've got 3 here, just 3 today. My number 3 is The Social Network.
Oh, sure.
Based on Mr. Mark. My number 2 is Hotel Rwanda.
I've never seen that.
Based on the person Paul Rusa I can't even say Bagiging. It's a pretty powerful movie. And my number 1 is Schindler's List.
Okay.
In terms of based on real life characters.
Right on. I had a couple honorable mentions. The King's Speech was my number 3, but since Andrew said it, I'm going to switch it out with American Outlaws. With your kid. What was his name? No, it was about Jesse James, Colin Farrell, Scott Conn, Ali Larder, who's hot, and a bunch of other people that I don't remember, but it's I like the movie. I don't know if it holds up, but I like it, and that's all that matters. Because it was kind of like that. I don't know. It felt like one of those movies where it was like a really modern take on something old, and it just felt very different. So, and it had DJ Qualls in it, which is weird. Right? I think he's in it. Maybe not. Ronnie Cox is in it. Terry O'Quinn, Kathy Bates, she's great. Anyway, that's my number 3. I guess other honorable mentions would be The Patriot. Now, technically, they changed the character's name in the movie from Francis Marion to Frank Martin, I think is what they call him. But
is it based off a real person?
Yeah, oh yeah. If you go to next time you're heading to the beach in South Carolina, you'll drive by Francis Marion University. It's named for him. You know, in the movie they call him the Ghost because he disappears, whatever. In real life, he was referred to as the Swamp Fox because he operated out of the swamp.
I did not realize that movie was based off of him.
Yeah,
I did not either. I thought it was just a made up.
No, he's real. The Jason Isaacs, who was the bad guy, Tarkenton, whatever his name is, Havington, whatever. Not Cornwallis, but the other guy, right? Lucius Malfoy. He's a real person too. He's based off a guy named Tarleton, who did use brutal tactics. That was his thing, of killing locals and doing whatever it took to get the job done. He did have that reputation. He did not die by a bayonet to the throat. He actually went back home in shame and died penniless.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's a better death.
But Francis Marion was a slave-owning dude. So, like when they in the movie, they made the black people freed. We're free. We worked this land. Yeah, I know you're trying to be PG there, Roland Emmerich, or not PG, but PC. They were slaves.
Wait, that was a Roland Emmerich film?
Yeah. Yeah, Independence Day.
Okay, all right, interesting.
You learned all kinds of stuff.
No large cities were destroyed.
No, not really. Well, but what was destroyed was an ecosystem. So the place where they filmed the swamp was an actual swamp that they drained and concreted and then put a couple inches of water over, because you can't have Mel Gibson thrown from a horse because a horse stepped on a stick that he can't see. And people were pissed because it ruined a whole ecological system for a movie. But I'm again, sorry for the history lesson, but at the end of the movie, right, the big battle at the end of the movie, right, where they march up and then the bad guys attack, right, and then they retreat, right, and then Cornwallis sends the troops over the hill where then they're completely killed. That is stolen from actual history from the Battle of Guilford Courthouse, where it was Nathaniel Green, which the city would be named for. That was his tactic in order to win that battle. Technically, he lost, but he won. Anyway, sorry for the history lesson. That's for my other podcast. Anyway, so there's that. Sorry. The Patriot. Number 2, I guess, would be the Alamo. which I keep raving about on this podcast for some reason. I don't know why it keeps getting brought up, but I love that. My number one is Glory. The movie with Matthew Broderick, and it's where
another movie where I can't watch the ending.
Oh, I freaking cry every time.
I hate that ending. Oh God, that ending's horrible.
It is horrible, and it's horrible.
Not that it's not like horrible as in bad. It's hard to watch.
It's hard to watch because it happened, it's such a waste of life.
Yep.
Because
and how these people would just run into that.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
I just don't understand.
And they just one battalion at a time, or one whatever they're called, brigade, whatever, one at a time. Yeah. We're not going to shell the place very much. Do they even really need to take the fort? I mean, couldn't you just siege them out of food? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the war ended like 6 months later. So, I mean, it's just such a waste of life. It's so bad. But anyway, Denzel Washington earned his Oscar for that role. He was great in that.
Earned is, yeah.
He earned it. Anyway, that's my top three. There you go. Time for it out of 10 for this movie.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
And I kind of apologize for being maybe too history class on this episode, but
that's right, you jerk.
Yeah, sorry. Out of 10, Andrew.
Well, I just didn't like the movie. There were a few moments here and there that I enjoyed, but overall, like you said, we've seen this story before. We've seen other movies that have done it better, so to speak. So I'm going to give this we'll say a 4.6 bullet holes that switch legs out of 10.
Okay. Oh crap! I screwed that up. Go ahead. Sorry.
What?
I accidentally. Oh. I somehow deleted the formula in my spreadsheet.
Well, I guess it's my turn. I think I like this less than Andrew liked it. There's not a whole lot of redeeming qualities to it. I would not recommend it, and I wouldn't watch it again. I've got to give it 3.24 red. What do you call it? No, scarlet toe fever.
Is that what I said? Yeah.
Out of
10. That sounds awful. I'm gonna meet y'all in the middle somewhere and give it a 4.25. It gets a few points because I know the director. It's not a great movie. It's not even a good movie. I applaud him for it's a good-looking movie. But
yeah,
I think that has more to do with the technology of the cameras today and how cheap they are than skill of the user.
Yep.
I thought that the writing was terrible. I thought the acting was okay, and the plot didn't make sense. And motivations were weird, but for the most part, it was it's okay.
Yeah.
So that's fine. And there you go. That's it. That's your show. Thank you for listening. Good night. No. Next week we're doing Super Bad. McLovin and team. I've never seen this movie.
Oh wow! Okay.
I know, right? So now I say that tentatively because Andrew and Sam have both seen Justice League. I don't know if Corny has.
Yep.
I plan on seeing it soon. Now, for those of you who may remember or may not, we have a GoFundMe.com/cheapseatreviews. I have to make sure I say that correctly. Where if you donate $25 or more, we will bring you on an episode and you pick the movie. Well, listener Alan has done that. He is very passionate about the DC universe. Go back and listen to our Batman versus Superman episode. That's the same listener.
He has stepped up.
He has stepped up. He has donated his money. And we will be doing that before the new year. Whether it's next week or the week after, it will be one of those 2 weeks. I don't know which one yet. It'll just depend on my schedule because I will be on the road the next 2 weeks, recording live once again from a hotel room in Chicago. So anyway, so either Superbad or Justice League next week. Really excited about both of those or either one. Obviously, I've seen neither. So it'll be a good time had by all. Unless I hate Justice League, then it won't be fun for Alan.
No, you'll love it.
Well, I like it more than Superman versus Batman.
Yes, you will.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Well, then I have high hopes.
But do not expect an Avengers.
No.
No, I'm kind of going in with my expectations.
No way, shape or form.
Kind of where my expectations were with Batman versus Superman. I'm not expecting Wonder Woman, which was a good movie. We all liked Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Even though it still had its issues, but it was still a good movie. That's our show. Thank you so much for listening. CheapSeatReviews.com is the website. It's iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, wherever you can find us. Leave us a review there. We like them. We need them. Facebook.com/CheapSeatReviews and Twitter is @CheapSeatCast. I say it every week. I hope you're still listening to the show. Go and leave us a review. We need them. It helps us move up in the rankings, and so that other people listen to us.
Yeah, please.
And check out our Anchor.
And Sean will read the review.
Yeah. Still, I haven't done it because no one's left one.
Do we have any email?
No.
No.
No. Unless someone has sent one in the last while we were recording. No.
No. Okay.
And I know that it worked. Oh, you sent me one. Okay, never mind.
Oh.
Yes, we have an email from Sam.
There's an email?
Yeah. At least we know that it works. Anyway, on behalf of Andrew and Sam and Corny, this is Sean saying thank you so much for listening and good night.